If she tells you to release inside of her, this is what it means. Men, there are moments in life that don't just test your strength, they test your soul. And one of those moments is when a woman looks you dead in the eye, in a moment of pure passion, and says, "Release inside of me." Now, some of you will think, that's just heat of the moment stuff. But I'm here to tell you, that moment is bigger than the passion you feel. It's a decision that can change the entire course of your life. And if you don't understand what's really being said, you could be stepping into years of responsibility, heartbreak, or even regret, without realizing it. Today we're going to break it all down. What those words really mean. How to know if it's coming from trust or recklessness. Why your future, your freedom, and your legacy could be on the line. And how real men handle that moment with wisdom instead of impulse. By the end of this video, you won't just see this as a moment in bed. You'll see it for what it really is. An unspoken contract that could shape the rest of your life. So if you value your time, your peace, your money, and your future, stay locked in. This is a conversation every man needs to hear. Why this matters. Here's the truth. When a woman says those words, she's not just inviting your body. She's inviting your future into her hands. That's not drama. That's reality. Because from the second you say yes, you're agreeing, whether you realize it or not, to carry whatever consequences come next. That could mean a child, emotional ties, legal obligations, financial responsibilities. And once that seed is planted, literally and figuratively, there's no undo button. This is why so many men's lives change overnight. One decision, one moment, and suddenly your freedom, your goals, your dreams, they all have to adjust to make room for what's coming. 1. The unspoken contract. When she says, "Release inside of me," it's not just about physical pleasure. It's about trust or recklessness. If it's trust, she may see you as a man she can build with. The man she believes will stand by her, protect her, and provide for her. The man she feels safe enough to take a life-changing risk with. But if it's recklessness, it's a completely different story. Recklessness often wears the mask of passion. It feels the same in the moment, but it's empty of foresight. She's not thinking about the next 20 years, she's thinking about the next 20 seconds. And sometimes, it's manipulation. Some women will use that moment to bind a man to them through a child, or to test his reaction without any thought to the consequences. Your job as a man? To know which one it is before the moment comes. 2. Trust versus recklessness. Both trust and recklessness can feel identical in bed. Her eyes lock on yours. Her voice is soft. Her words drip with desire. But desire doesn't always mean wisdom. To figure out which one you're dealing with, you've got to know her beyond the bedroom. How does she handle stress? Is she responsible with money? Does she make emotional decisions without thinking? Can she have a disagreement without it turning into chaos? If the answer to those questions shows maturity, stability, and values, maybe it's trust. But if she's impulsive, unstable, or inconsistent, then my friend, you're standing in a minefield. 3. Your legacy is at stake. Here's something most men don't realize. When you release inside a woman, you're not just planting a seed in her body. You're planting a seed in your future. That seed will grow into something that either carries your name with honor, or drags it through the mud. Legacy isn't just about money or property. It's about what you leave behind. It's the values your children inherit. It's the example you set. Choose the wrong woman, and that legacy could be poisoned before it even begins. If she's selfish, unstable, or reckless, your child will grow up carrying the weight of that dysfunction. And you'll either spend years trying to fix what could have been avoided, or watch helplessly as your child struggles. That's why high-value men look beyond the now. They see the next 20 years. They ask, will this woman honor my name? Will she raise my children with love and discipline? Will she stand beside me when life gets hard? Your legacy is your crown. Protect it. For manhood means foresight. Boys live for the moment. Men live for the future. One of the clearest signs of manhood is the ability to think beyond right now, to see where your choices will lead, and to make decisions that protect your tomorrow. When she says, "Release inside me," your foresight becomes your greatest weapon. Because in that second, the boy inside you will want to say yes. But the man inside you must ask, what happens next? Foresight isn't about fear. It's about wisdom. It's the shield that protects your dreams, your freedom, and your resources. Without it, you're gambling with your future. And life always collects its debts. 5. Emotional readiness check. Before you even think about saying yes, ask yourself, am I ready for what could come next? And I'm not just talking about money. You can have a fat bank account and still be empty inside, completely unprepared for the storm that might follow. Emotional readiness means you can lead with patience when life gets hard. You can stay committed even when you're tired, stressed, or frustrated. You're mature enough to work through disagreements instead of walking away. And here's the hard truth. If you know deep down she's not your forever but you still say yes, that's not just reckless, it's cruel. Because you're not just affecting her life, you're affecting a potential child's life. And they deserve stability, love, and a father who shows up every day. 6. The power of saying no. Sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do is say no. Society tells men to prove themselves through how many women they've been with, how quickly they can give in to temptation. But real men? They prove themselves by the moments they walk away from what could destroy them. Saying no is not weakness. It's not fear. It's control. It's leadership over your own life. Boys are led by desire. Men lead their desires. And sometimes that no will save you from years of financial strain, emotional chaos, or being tied to someone who was never meant to walk with you long term. Remember, the people who pressure you to say yes will never be the ones carrying the weight if your life becomes heavy because of that decision. Men, you are allowed to protect your future. You are allowed to set boundaries even in the heat of passion. You are allowed to say no to a moment that could cost you everything. Because the man who can say no today is the man who will have the freedom to say yes to the right woman tomorrow. Boys act on impulse. Men act on purpose. So the next time a woman says, "Release inside of me," remember this. You're not just making a decision for tonight. You're making a decision for the rest of your life. If you want more real talk like this, conversations that actually protect your peace, your money, and your legacy, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and share this with a man who needs to hear it. Because the truth is, no one teaches men this. But it's time we started.